Satterfield. Good evening, everyone. Thanks for coming to the Town Commission meeting tonight for July 23rd, 2024. If you could please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty.
Thank you, Lord Jesus. We can say this, praise the Lord. Lord. We just thank you and praise you. We lift you, magnify you, glorify you, testify. You taught your disciples, say, Our Father, which art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come. Thy will be done in earth as it will be in you. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our debt, as we forgive our debtors. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us, Lord Jesus, from all evil. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Thank you. Thank you. Ready?
Mr. McMullen. Mr. Pollen.
Here.
Mr. Reynolds.
Present.
Mr. Duffield.
Present.
Mayor Taylor.
Here, thank you.
Are all here.
Thank you very much. We have a couple of presentations tonight. We're going to start out with a very, very good presentation from Aaron Russell with the Florida League of Cities presentation. Hi, Aaron.
Nervous about holding that for too long, so I'm sure it's.
Speak loud so everybody can hear you too.
Thank you, Mayor, and good evening, Mayor, members of the commission, staff, and citizens. As stated, my name is Aaron Russell. I'm the Member Services Administrator from the Florida League of Cities, which is located in Tallahassee, Florida. And just for those in the audience members who've never heard of the Florida League of Cities, for more than 100 years, the league has served as the united voice for Florida's 411 cities, towns, and villages. And our mission has remained the same since the beginning, which is to protect local decision-making, which allows our local voices to make local choices. And so I do want to take a moment to say thank you to the town for being an active and dedicated member of the Florida League of Cities. And a special thank you to Commissioner McMullen for serving on the league's board of directors. And on a personal note, thank you for the warm welcome. This is my second time in the town. I was here a year ago to recognize Commissioner Satterfield for his years of service. And you can always tell when you come into a vibrant town, when before the town commission, there are people chatting and laughing and talking instead of sitting silently waiting for the meeting to start. So it's great to be here. Thank you for the welcome. The reason I'm here tonight, the Florida League of Cities has been recognizing outstanding cities, towns, and villages since 2009 through our Florida Municipal Achievement Award program. And this award program has 4 prestigious awards: economic advancement, local action, public engagement, and the award I'm here to present you with this evening, environmental stewardship. The Environmental Stewardship Award focuses on a city program that promotes environmental sustainability, improves and protects environmental conditions, provides environmental education and outreach programs within a city. And the town of Oakland was selected as the winner of the Environmental Stewardship Award for the Oakland Nature Preserve, which offers diverse ecosystems, engaging classrooms, and outdoor pavilions that welcomed 40,000 guests in 2023. The preserve works with local schools to host students for hands-on science education. Its education committee ensures alignment with state science standards, which helped Oakland Avenue Charter Schools FCAT science ranking. The preserve also hosts summer camps, which I hear are still ongoing, and the Youth Climate Project, which awards scholarships for innovative climate solutions. For adults, the preserve offers programs like the Firefly Hikes and senior walking groups, and it hosts signature events like the Nature Fest and the Pumpkin Glow, which draw thousands of individuals. Besides education, the Oakland Nature Preserve focus is on conservation, including tree planting and land acquisition, which currently includes over 150 acres. This program is a true testament to city leadership and your staff. It's also a testament to the local volunteers who dedicate their time to the preserve. And I want to give a special shout out to Jennifer Hunt, who is the managing director of the Oakland Nature Preserve, for her dedication. The Florida Municipal Achievement Award is the highest award the league gives to Florida cities. And this year was our most competitive year yet. And so I want to say congratulations to the town of Oakland for your excellent nomination and for your efforts in engaging your community. So in addition to the trophy I'm here to present you with this evening, the town will be featured on the league's website, social media. You'll be featured on our FL Cities Strong webinar series, which we hold each month. And we will also publish an article in our Quality Cities magazine. So on behalf of the Florida League of Cities, I am honored to present you with the Florida Municipal Achievement Award for Environmental Stewardship. So congratulations.
Erin, thank you so much. I really appreciate you coming out, but we couldn't do it without the town's support and the support of all of our volunteers and our town leader. So I just want to say thank you very, very much for coming out, supporting us here, supporting us at the preserve, coming to our events, just going and visiting and walking the boardwalk and enjoying your time at the preserve. So thank you very, very much. And thank you once again for your wonderful support.
Thank you. We want to get a picture?
Get everybody in? Yeah.
You want to go here first and we'll spend a minute, you guys? You guys want to get in there? Let's look like the. Rich.
Get over here. Yeah. Or just.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Picture.
This way.
See, there's some events.
All right, chief. Next.
All right, good evening. I'm going to make this as quick as I can, but we do have a couple awards to recognize from the second quarter of this year. First, if I could have Andrew Rick up front. While he's walking up here, I just want to read a little bit about what went into nominating Officer Ricks and why he got used. Wherever you want, then you can stand on my feet if you want.
Okay.
On May 29th, 2024, Officer Ricks responded to a call of a missing elderly male with failing mental acuity. The subject had been missing for more than 4 hours and concern was growing within his family. Officer Ricks had only one other officer to respond and assist with this call. Recognizing the gravity of the situation, Officer Ricks summoned the assistance of the Orange County and Osceola County Sheriff's Office for additional resources. He was able to summon a helicopter and a bloodhound from those respective agencies, as well as distribute the information regarding the missing person to area agencies. The search resulted in the male being located on the east side of Ocoee, where he was recovered in good health. Due to his professionalism and knowledge of additional resources, while remaining calm throughout this call, Officer Ricks was able to facilitate the safe return of the male to his family. Officer Ricks, in addition, Officer Ricks took time to examine the house check procedure, which is currently a part of the daily routine of officers within the department. He was able to independently think about the current process and come up with a more efficient method of tracking these house checks which has resulted in a streamlined process where information is able to be tracked and passed on electronically instead of being handwritten on a card where cards sometimes are misplaced or held by officers from previous shifts. Officer Rick takes on an additional task of being the lead trainer for the department. This responsibility comes with many tasks, including developing training classes for the rest of the agency in order to ensure each officer satisfies state requirements in the area of high liability topics. During this quarter, Officer Rick was asked to develop a defensive tactics course due to the agency not having this course for almost 2 years. Officer Rick delivered a defensive tactics course, which not only addressed the required competencies, but went further to incorporate case laws, where he conducted his own independent research to include the most recent items necessary to ensure professional policing and best practices from around the country are adhered to within the Oakland Police Department. For his professionalism and ability to resolve a situation involving the health and safety of a missing elderly person, Officer Andrew Ricks has been awarded the department's award of commendation. For his willingness to create lesson plans, ensure effective training, and the ability to examine current practices and develop better practices, Officer Andrew Ricks is also being recognized as the department's Officer of the Quarter for 2024. For the award of commendation, he gets another ribbon for his uniform, which he'll be able to put on a Class A uniform. And also for the Officer of the Quarter, as you guys have seen with other previous quarters, he's awarded this plaque, as well as the Guardian Angel Light for his vest with a holder for it. There we go. And possibly a box lunch next time. You know, in reality, the things that he does, I didn't write it in there, but he doesn't get any extra for this. He does these, writes these training plans, he does all these things out of his desire to improve every day and be a good police officer. So this is exactly the exemplary performance that we look for in Oakland and that we have in Oakland. Love it. So you know, I know a lot of you flag me down and go, man, I got Secretary Thompson, it was so great. He's done everything to include almost kick down the commissioner's door when his garage was left open. So, but we truly appreciate what he does for the agency and for everybody here. So thank you. Here's blocking him. Okay, now, if I could have Officers Michael Almodovar, Anthony Edwards, and Colton Horn. All right, while they're walking up, so I can get it done quicker. On June 27, 2024, we were notified by our IT vendor that the internet and fiber lines were down in the police department. Officer Colton Horn, who's not here today, he was contacted as he was one of the two that was working, and he was able to open the server room in an attempt to assist our IT vendor in identifying the issue. Officer Horn worked for several hours with the IT vendor to remedy the issue. During this time, Officer Horn was training a new hire and was able to accomplish both providing training while also assisting with this problem. This problem continued to Saturday, June 29, 2024, where Officer Almodovar was called to allow Spectrum employees to access the building. Officer Almodovar was able to work with Spectrum while communicating with iVenture regarding the details being provided by Spectrum. With the internet being restored, Officer Almodovar was able to recognize that our current records management system, SmartCop, was not working. This is critical because it's how police officers complete all reports and where all reports are stored. He was able to pass this information on to ensure that SmartCop system was repaired. Due to his assistance, the Oakland Partners program was restored, allowing us to maintain communication with those participating in the program. Very important. On Sunday, June 30th, Officer Anthony Edwards worked with Spectrum to have the fibers restored. He was able to communicate effectively between Spectrum and iVenture to facilitate the repairs that were necessary. Once repaired, Officer Edwards contacted Winter Garden PD and established a line of communication with their IT employee to get the SmartCop program up and running. He was able to pass on information between Winter Garden and iVenture, eventually getting the program back online. During the 72-hour period in which the system was down, officers did not have access to the computer system, which allows them to view the calls that were dispatched, as well as type any police reports. All reports from that weekend were handwritten and would later have to be manually entered. While addressing this problem, all officers involved managed to provide necessary assistance as well as answer all calls for service, providing police services to the residents in a timely manner. for their willingness to adapt to a technology nightmare, as well as their ability to effectively communicate with multiple entities. Officer Michael Almodovar, Anthony Edwards, and Colton Horn are being issued awarded the department's award of commendation. Edward, you got it, okay? Oh. Thank you for your time and listening. This issue, while it doesn't sound like much to the layman, was a disaster for the police department. And without them being, if this happened in other jurisdictions, I don't know what would have happened, but, you know, safety was affected and they were able to make sure that all the reports got handled and all calls for service matches. So it was a total nightmare. And I didn't even find out about it until Monday because they were able to handle it all back. So I have no idea what's going on. It was great. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief, and thank you, officers, for everything you guys, for the residents of this town. We truly, really appreciate you guys, really do. So thank you very much.
Moving on to our public forum, and at the public forum, it's comments that the public may have that there's nothing on the agenda, that's not on the agenda. So is there any takers tonight for the public forum? Oh, yes. No. No. Bacon, how are you?
Maybe 510 West. I'm sorry, I feel like I'm all up here all the time. Sorry about that. But I do want to pass out a flyer for the Remembrance Day, August 3rd. Park over here in the West Side, and it'll be free food. We're having a book bag giveaway, and the mayor will be there. Some commissioners will be there speaking. So come out, have fun. Let's fellowship. Let's get out of this forum and get into a forum that we all agree with. That's have fun. All right, for the kids over there. All right. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Great.
If everybody can make it on the 3rd there. Anyone else? No? Okay, we'll close the public forum. We're going to move on to the consent agenda, and on tonight's consent agenda are the minutes from the 7/9/2024 Town Commission regular meeting, EP Alternative Water Grant Agreement, the Oakland Avenue Charter School Campus and Facility Security Policy, a memorandum of understanding between Orange County Sheriff's Office and Oakland PD, and last manager report. Any comments or questions? I'll make the motion to accept the consent agenda as presented. Okay, second? Second. All in favor? Aye. All right. Easy. All right, Andy, moving on to other policy matters. You want to run through these?
Yes. First item that you have before you is the revision to the tree section of the Land Development Code, and Elise Yu, our assistant town manager, has been working on that diligently for the town, so I'm going to turn that over to her and let her present this item to the commission.
Sure. So the last few months, we've heard about tree issues in Oakland, and so we just drafted up some changes to the policy. It has not yet gone. Brad Cornelius is still reviewing it, and then we'll go to the attorney for review before we come back with the ordinance. But we're just trying to tighten things up, have a larger penalty if somebody removes a tree that's unauthorized. We're trying to have the plans more complete before we're saying yes, that it's at that time to go ahead and remove trees so that we avoid some of these issues that we've run across. Okay. Anyway, so that's kind of what where we're at.
Okay, so we're getting close.
We're getting closer, yes.
Okay, great. If you have any input after tonight's meeting, feel free to get with myself or Elise.
Yes, we both worked on it.
It's a work in progress, but we're moving fast on that, being that it's been a hot topic here in town.
So I've been following along with them as well on it, and yeah, it will have a little bit of fight to it, more so than what we had before, which was almost nothing. So we want to try to get it out as, quickly as we can with the development that's happening around us.
Yes.
Yeah. So thanks for working on that and getting that done quick. Thank you.
Next item on the agenda is a building and safety fee study proposal. Give you a little background. In November of 2022, previous management realized that the town of Oakland had developed a surplus of revenue in the building department. This surplus is developed over time due to the established permit fees, which were higher than required to support building activities and oversight. Municipalities are required to establish fees that cover the costs of building departments, but are not allowed to generate revenue, develop reserves, or provide financial support to other municipal positions not directly tied to building activities. Therefore, town management decided to reduce fees to eliminate the development of excess revenues. These fees were developed by the previous assistant town manager and were presented to our contracted building official for feedback. The town's building official advised staff that the fees that were presented were too low and recommended a fee study be performed and adjustments made prior to adoption. However, the proposed fees were not altered, and they were presented to the town commission and adopted on January 4th of 2023. By spring of 2023, the fees collected monthly were significantly lower than the cost of building department services, and the surplus was decreasing at a rapid pace. However, staff wasn't able to adjust the fees to compensate for the deficit due to a Senate bill adopted on April 17th of 2023. The legislation prohibited municipalities within the disaster area of Hurricane Ian and Nicole from altering building fees until October 1st of 2024. Staff is requesting to perform a proper fee study to correct current building fees. The study will allow the town to adopt a more sustainable fee schedule and balance the building budget. The staff's goals is to create a fee for service program as required by Florida State statute. So what you have before you is a proposal from Ralph Tellis in the amount of $35,700 to conduct this study. And then we piggybacked off of the city of Daytona Beach to make sure our quote was competitive. I will tell you that this is a big issue as we head into October 1st of 2024 to make sure that our building department fees are being covered, which are a large portion of those fees are paid for by the developers. And so we want to make sure that our fee structure is in place to help cover the cost of what it costs the town. Currently, the town is losing revenue, has been for the past year and a half. However, as it just stated, we haven't been able to adjust these rates that were approved because of Senate Bill that was passed. So come October 1st, we hope to have this proposed fee study back before the town commission and have you all take a look at some adopted new building permit fees for the town. That being said, that's all I have.
Thanks, Andy. Rick, I think it's where you wanted to get. So,
Exactly. Thank you, Andy.
and it'll be October, you said, before we actually get to look at maybe a structure.
Well, it may be a couple months past October, but they're gonna do all the research, consult with our building official. They look at all the costs, they look at all my time that's involved, Lisa's time, and then they develop the fee structure based off of all those different factors. So I imagine it would take 4 to 5 months to complete, but we should have it close to new budget years, the hope.
Okay.
So, thank you.
Thank you, Andy. Thank you, Rick.
All right, so moving on, Andy, to the hot topic in town, which is the,
You need a motion, Andy?
Yes, we do.
oh, we do. Okay, sorry. Anybody want to entertain a motion?
I'll make a motion to approve the building and safety fee study.
A second?
I'll second it.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. All right, Andy, moving on to the fire EMS MSTU rate increase.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The next item on the agenda is proposal to increase the tentative millage rate for fiscal year 2024-25 from 6.3 mils to 6.9 mils. On June 25th, last month, 2024, the town commission approved a proposed budget that was presented by myself with no increase to the town's millage rate of 6.3. However, on July 12th of 2024, the town was notified by Orange County Fire Rescue that the Orange County Board of County Commissioners voted to support a tentative millage rate increase to the Fire Municipal Service Taxing Unit, which is also known as the MSTU. The existing rate of 2.2437 is proposed to increase by 0.6, bringing the new MSTU rate to 2.8437 for the upcoming fiscal year 24-25 budget. The Orange County Board of County Commissioners will hold two public hearings scheduled for September 5th and 19th of 2024 at 5:01 p.m. in its chambers to officially adopt the final fire millage rate for fiscal year 24-25. How this affects the town is, the town currently contracts with Orange County Fire Rescue to provide fire rescue and prevention services to town residents through an interlocal agreement between the town of Oakland and Orange County. Cost of these services and the interlocal agreement is determined by applying the millage levied in the MSTU to the ad valorem assessment of the town. The budgeted cost to provide these services in the current fiscal year is $1.5 million, while the proposed new cost in accordance with the interlocal agreement would be $2,065,000 for this upcoming fiscal year. This represents a total dollar increase of about $521,000 from the current fiscal year. Keep in mind the town's budget's only $9 million. So this is, when we go to balance our budget, we usually try to fund all the core services, and then anything extra we fund the smaller things that such as road improvements and things that are outside of the daily operating costs. So $521,000 is a big expense to the town all at once. So while the existing town's millage rate of 6.3 provides for the absorption of gradual costs, property values rise each year. The budget simply cannot absorb an increase of this magnitude in one fiscal year. Therefore, town staff is recommending adopting a higher tentative millage rate of 6.9 to be included as part of the truth in millage or trim notice to cover only the proposed tax increase from Orange County. The increase in the town's proposed tentative millage rate of 0.6 is directly attributed and contingent upon the actions of the Orange County Board of County Commissioners. The recommendation of town staff is to approve a tentative millage rate of 6.9 and then reduce the final millage rate proportionally up to 0.6 mils contingent on the actions of the Orange County Board of County Commissioners at their meeting on September 9th of 2024. You have attached a letter that was received by the mayor from Deputy Director Orange County Fire Rescue Anthony Rios. You have the trim notice that shows the revenues that are generated from a increase to 6.9, which will be enough to offset the cost of the additional increased MSTU rate. And then you've also were provided an article from the Orlando Sentinel on July 11th, 2024. So the idea of having to come back after our budget work session and increase the millage rate from 6.3 to 6.9 is a result of receiving this letter. And so as the town sends out our trim notices in accordance with law, we have to advertise. Basically, once we send the tax rate out, it cannot be any higher than what advertised. However, the town commission can come back at final budget hearing in September, and they can always reduce the millage. So without having time to look at the budget and make the necessary cuts, if that's what the commission decided that they would like to do, there is no other option at this point other than to adopt a higher millage rate and then come back in September and look and see if we can't, through negotiations with the county. And I'll do a presentation here in a second to explain the MSTU rate. But the final millage rate is not adopted until September. So this is just the notice that will be going out on the residents their property tax for the town. Will be an increase from 6.3 to 6.9. So you'll be able to see what that amount will be. But then that may not be the final amount depending on the outcome of this fire tax increase that's being proposed by Orange County. So we're at a situation this week that we needed to make a decision before the trim notices go out. They're due by the end of this month to the property appraiser, and those trim notices go out in August. So I'll go through a quick presentation that I have put together to kind of explain this a little bit further regarding this tentative millage rate increase. There's a lot of questions about why the town is doing this. But let me just give you a brief timeline of where we're at. As I mentioned in the sort of the summary, as I said, on June 25th, the town commission adopted a tentative millage rate of 6.3 based on a balanced budget of $9.1 million. So on June 25th, we were recommended a tentative millage rate of 6.3. On Friday, July 13th, the Mayor Shane Taylor received a letter from Orange County notifying the town of an increase to the Orange County Fire Municipal Taxing Unit. The existing rate was 2.2437. The proposed rate of 2.8437, which is basically a total of 0.6. That's the letter that we received from the county notifying us of the total amount that it would cost underneath this proposed fire tax increase to provide fire rescue services to the town in our interlocal agreement. Talk briefly about some budget impacts. As I said, the town is currently in an interlocal agreement with Orange County Fire Rescue for fire prevention and rescue services. So basically, the fire tax affects the total amount that the town is charged for this. The new Orange County proposed fire tax would represent an increase in the amount of $521,000 from the current fiscal year. The town currently pays $1.5 million to Orange County for fire services, and this increase represents a cost of a little over $2 million. The town's millage rate of 6.3 includes the MST interlocal agreement with Orange County Fire Rescue. Each year, fire service and rescue services increases have been absorbed in the budget as a result of increasing property values. So as our property values increase and you keep the same tax rate, you generally generate more revenues. And so the town has operated for the last 10 years, has actually reduced our millage rate. We have not increased taxes in the town of Oakland. So this being a tax increase, this is why it's back before the commission this evening. And simply passing that tax increase along to the residents. The interlocal agreement, some of the historical costs that you'll see since we've been in an interlocal for the past 5 years, 760 and 2021, gone to 901, 1.2, 1.4, and then this year with the tax increase to $2,065,081. Next slide. So the tentative, I keep saying tentative, is what we're proposing tonight at 6.9. And that is only because the town has to present that tentative millage rate to the property appraisers in accordance with the trim laws, which is also known as truth and millage, which is a state statute to allow property owners to know what it is that they will possibly have to pay in property taxes. And so you'll get that card probably late August in the mail. The trim requirements also provide for a maximum millage levies for counties, municipalities, independent special districts. Millage rates cannot be decreased after the trim notice is certified. Sorry, can only be decreased after the trim notice is certified. And any increases that the town would need to do as a result of what we put on that trim notice, you can only go up in a really small increment. So we're going to set the mark what we need. And then as we get through negotiations with the county or budget cuts or whatever it is the community decides to do, then we can look at possibly we can only come down from what is advertised, which is 6.9 is what the recommendation is. The tentative millage. So what staff is recommending this evening, and then I'll open it back to the mayor and the town commission for discussion, is to set the millage rate at 6.9 to allow the necessary offset of expenditures in the budget. Reevaluate the final millage after the Orange County public hearing scheduled for Orange County Board of County Commissioners, which will hold 2 public hearings on September 5th and 19th, as already discussed. And then in the meantime, I would make a recommendation to authorize the mayor to make a formal request and alternative recommendations to the Orange County Board of County Commissioners and express concerns of the budget cuts related to the tax increase. So just like anything else, as costs go up or taxes go up, especially this late notice in the budget process, the town is going to have to make budget cuts to the residents of the town in order to keep the millage rate at 6.3. So where we're at tonight is a tentative rate of 6.9, and where we end up is up to the actions of the Orange County Board of County Commissioners, discussions with possible county staff, and then any other suggestions that we have here this evening. So I'll turn it over to the mayor and stand for any questions.
Okay. Thanks, Andy. Any questions for Andy? Okay. So and we're going to open it up to anybody who wants to talk about it. We'll get to everybody. We want to hear your opinions on it as well. I can express mine, which is I don't think this is the correct thing for them to do to us right now. It's not that I'm opposed to increases to the fire service. We get great service from Orange County Fire Department. They've been a fixture in this town for a long time, since I've been here. In fact, my father-in-law worked here at the old station right here where Public Works is, when we first moved in. So, what we have done is I've already had communications with the fire department, the Fire Chief Fitzgibbon, who runs the fire department there, and expressed to him our displeasure in receiving this notice that came out without, number one, maybe coming to the municipalities and talking to us previously to let us know. That would have been very helpful for us when we were setting up our millage rate when we first had our public workshop meeting. Second, we're gonna have ongoing conversations, and I want everybody to know this doesn't just affect Oakland, it's anybody in Orange County, unincorporated Orange County, and any municipality that utilizes the services of Orange County Fire Department. So for example, we have a call Friday with the cities of Edgewood, Belle Isle, Eatonville, because they all take service from Orange County. And I can tell you right now, just the brief conversations we've had, they all feel the same as we do. There are a couple of ways that we're negotiating this. I mean, you can look at it as you pay it, lump sum. It would been nice maybe to negotiate, and this is one of the options we're negotiating, is to talk about a incremental increase over a certain time period that the town can absorb and not have to do this instead of taking it all in one shot. So that's kind of where the direction that we're all leaning to doing is trying to go that route. But there's a whole bunch of different scenarios that can play out here. Our goal is to not increase. That is what we are trying to do. We all live here. I live here. Everybody on this table lives here, and I don't want to pay any more than I have to live here. So that's kind of my thoughts and where we're at. And if anybody else has anything they want to add to anything.
I want to add, just second what you're saying, Shane, is that not all the cities, town or villages are created equal in Orange County. There should be some leverage for us to negotiate the percentage towards a smaller town like us. So I know that you're going to do great doing that. I've heard we have very little time to do this. Sprung this up on the 11th hour, which is of course not fair for a small town. You mentioned Edgewood, Eatonville, Belle Isle, they're about the same size as ours. So I'm sure if you're there with the other mayors talking to negotiate something, either negotiate it into a 5-year plan or just drop the percentage on us because we don't have that big of a city.
True. And that's the issue. For a little town, our town's 2 square miles. It's $1 million a square mile is what they're charging. So, that's something that I've already asked the fire station or fire department is, can you break out what our services are? Maybe there's a way we can work together on this. Maybe there's a pro rata share that we pay towards it. We have a joint venture with them where they utilize the public safety building with, the fire department and the police department together. I don't believe the other municipalities have that particular setup with them. So I find ourselves in a unique situation with them. And I also find ourselves in a unique geographic situation with Orange County, in which we're surrounded by, Winter Garden to the east and Lake County to the west. And there's this little Orange County pocket that they serve. So there's all different ways of looking at things and stuff. But Sal, we're going to try to hit as hard as we can. And we're going to try to do what we can to not get it up to that 6.9 is what we're doing, even talking to our county commissioners and all that good stuff that play into it and stuff. So with that being said, does anybody want to speak about it or talk about it? I tasked Andy to put this presentation together because I know there was a lot of stuff going around about what is the town's fault. It's not, this is just something that's sprung on everybody. So, we just want to get it out there to the open and make sure everybody's clear on it. So, anybody? Oh, yes, ma'am. Name and rank and serial number.
Mark Strong, 201 Briley. When I hear cut in services, it's concerning for all of us that live here. When you can't, how about examples of where those cuts might come from that will, affect all of us?
Yeah, Mark, a good question. We're very skinny on the budget right now. So when you start cutting, you start impacting staff. You start impacting services to the town. And that's definitely something that we don't want to do. So we have to look at a different means. So the town manager has put something together preliminary for us to look at. We haven't really sat around and talked about it yet, but there's something there that could happen to get us down to keep it at 6.3, but it's very drastic. It's very, very drastic. And but yeah.
And here's the goal, Marcia, is that we don't have to do any of that. That's the goal. And the 6.9, we all need to keep in our heads that that is out there for just in case that nobody wants. And hopefully, and I think not to be redundant to either of these gentlemen, that heads will figure it out when we all start talking about it, that it isn't an equal situation and maybe something equitable could come for us. And that's kind of the hope that we go with it. And none of this has to happen. That's the bottom line of what we want.
And did they tell you why? Like, why?
The conversation was, they didn't come out and say, this is why we're doing it. This isn't, we need to, it was basically to keep up with the services they have, and they do provide great service. And I'm not disputing that, if the fire truck breaks down, they bring another fire truck in to help us out. The helicopter, and it's not a service you really want to do without, in this town. If there's an emergency, you want to have somebody that can come there and take care of you. So they didn't nail down the reason why. It was essentially that they haven't increased rates in 17 years.
Wow.
And it's been going on for that long. And it's a matter of, well, we want to continue those services that we have. If you go on to the Orange County government website, you go and you look at the tentative budget for Orange County for fiscal year 24-25 that's upcoming. Same with what we're doing for ours. Keep in mind our budget's looking at $9 million, a little over $9 million. Orange County is a 6.9 billion with a B, is what they have. The budget for the fire department this year, or for that year, is $322 million. That's 40 Oaklands. Think about it. So you look at it that way. If you want,
And just to follow up, they're looking to try to do the same thing that we're trying to do here at the town. We're trying to take care of our employees. We're trying to build the town, grow the town, make improvements to the town, improve our parks, take care of those that are working and doing the job here. And so I think they're trying to do the same thing. And the thing about it is I, as a town manager, I've managed small towns for my entire career, for the last 20 years. And so, and I've developed every budget that personally for the last 20 years. And so when you look at a large increase like this and the impact that it has on the residents all at once, it is hard to balance and it is hard to, because we're trying to take care of town of Oakland at the end of the day. And the town has lived within their means. We have had the same millage rate for the past 10 years, probably longer than that. And so I think their needs are just as much as what our needs are here. And so it's kind of like, where you go from here is up to the commission, I guess.
Sure. And if you want to educate yourself just a little more, if you go to the Orange County Property Appraiser's website, and you go there and let's say you isolate your house, or you type in your address, and this is a trim notice. This is what a trim notice looks like when you see it. And what it gives you is your valuation of your home, property, from the previous year and this year. And what that does is you'll see the breakout of the millage rates, and it includes everything from, local, the boards, Orange County General, And Orange County General is services that Orange County provides the town. Everyone, every municipality, Winter Garden, everybody pays the Orange County General. And then you have the Oakland, which Oakland has its millage rate. We keep talking about the 6.3 right now and going up to 6.9. Inside that Oakland millage rate is the fire department's rate. So if you take away that too, you're at, Oakland's really at 4.3 or something like that, I think, rough number. That Oakland pays for town services. That includes the police department that you have, the roads, and everything else, and staff and everything you enjoy in town, everything from the Heritage Days to the holidays to decorations and all that stuff. That's included in that. And then you'll have the county library as well on that. And then, of course, St. John's Water Management District that everyone pays into. So if you go in there, you'll find it. It's if you're on that page when you find your house and you locate it, there's a little percentage sign. You just click that tab and that will pop this out right here if you want to look at it. But unfortunately, folks, I think we're in a point where it's something that we have to do at this point in time just to cover ourselves. And let's hope that pray and hope that the negotiations work and we go down and we can come up with some sort of amicable solution to what we're doing here. So that's where we're at.
And if Marcia does answer your question, they did say they want to fund 163 more firefighters and open up 4 new stations also.
And their service areas.
Yes.
They're dealing with central police too. Police is trying to increase their budget. So the entire county, police and fire, it's coming to all these areas that's utilize those services.
That's correct.
And everyone, I think, is in their right to do what's best for their individual stuff. But until everyone sits and talks together about it, level heads seem to win out in the long run. So hopefully, Shane, as you meet with them, maybe we can get them here to talk somehow with resident input to them. And I'm not sure how we would do that. That would help too. So this is kind of a team effort between residents and us to try to talk them down a little bit.
Yeah.
The commission meeting also September 5th.
That's what I was gonna say. That's it, Joseph. You go to Orange County downtown to the Orange County chambers, and on the 5th at 5:01 PM, I think is the meeting, and you can be heard and tell them what's going on. But like Mike said, I hope that we can kind of negotiate something that benefits everybody there. So yeah. Other than that, that's all we got. Anybody other questions from anybody? Yes. Scott, how are you?
Good, how are you, Shane?
Good.
So Scott Gordon, San Diego Hall. I just had a couple questions, but I'm looking at the numbers and. So in the last 5 years, the total cost of roughly, rough math. Increased by 120%. I get that that's based off valuation. Brooklyn's had exponential growth in the last. But looking at that, if we asked Orange County, if we looked at, we've increased what we're paying at 120%. I get that they're looking to add new firefighters, looking to add new stations, but again, Oakland's a 2 square mile town. Have we received any additional firemen in our fire station? What is the increase in call outs for our fire station? Is that proportionate to what their actual targets? If we ask that data, are we looking at it? I get that the rest of Oakland, or I'm sorry, the rest of Orange County is growing, but.
Yeah.
I mean, we've increased 120%.
All good questions. All good questions, and those questions were posed to them when Andy and I were on the phone originally with the fire chief about, that's why I mentioned before our geographic location and where we're at as far as, you think about Horizons West, that is growing very quickly, and that's probably where they need the services. And, that was one of the questions I asked them and requests I made, which is in the town of Oakland proper, that 2 square miles, how many runs a shift are you handling in the town? Not talking about helping Winter Garden out or going to Turnpike Run or Deer Island, because Deer Island's unincorporated in Orange County. Does that make a difference? Might, I don't know, but it maybe give them something to think about it.
We requested the data that they provided.
Not yet. They're supposed to give it to us next week. So they're pulling everything together because I know that we were the first to reach out to them. So when I got the letter, we staff and we were the first to reach out to them and say, we've got questions and we've got problems. And then reached out to the municipalities and then they said, yes, we got problems and we got questions as well. So that's the conversation Friday we're gonna be having.
So my other question, so I appreciate that. So my only is, you know, I'm hearing that we're looking at our budget, we're looking to where we can take cuts to our existing budget to offset this increase. What other options are we looking at as a town, as a commission to, like, are we looking at breaking the agreement with Orange County? Are we looking at partnering with Winter Garden? We're a 2 square mile town right next to Winter Garden. Are we looking at insourcing and maybe bringing the fire department in-house? I mean, we have an amazing police department that's in-house. Can we replicate that with the internal fire department? I mean, at $2 million a year, I mean, yes, it's a high NRE cost up front. But I mean, we're gonna recoup that in the long run because now we can control.
All the above. We're looking at all the above. I can tell you that right now. And it could be, you know, is it somebody else or is it in-house or is it whatever? But I agree with you with that cost of $2 million. And if you're going to pay that, maybe that's a consideration to control it and bring it in-house. I don't know. I mean, that's something that we all needed to talk about and discuss once the negotiations and talks are happening and figure out what we need to do. But I don't believe it's a fast process.
There's a lot of moving parts with the fire rescue and the rescue part of the operations as well that they provide. Their local agreements and you have to do all the coverages. And the reason we have our own fire department is to help reduce the insurance rating for the town. So, you know, on your insurance, your homeowner's insurance, you get a decrease there. The rescue side is more like paramedic and transport and things. And so I know that it does cost quite a bit of money to run a fire and rescue department. And so there are benefits with the county because you've got the whole, all the assets of what Orange County has. But we are looking at, like the mayor said, it's just we haven't had the time. The first thing on the agenda was to make sure that we could generate the funds to offset the increase if this tax increase does go through. We weren't able to negotiate any type of agreement. So my first thought was to protect the town, let the town residents know just up front that this is the cost we're just passing on to the resident. And then we can come back if residents don't want to pay the 0.6, we can come back and cut our own services. And that's not something that I necessarily want to do. And personally, because I have, like I said, I have employees that work for the town and we went from 52 to 50 employees and we've doubled in size. And so I can sit down with any resident here on a $9 million budget and I can show you that we are living within our means and anything additional that we would cut would be service and it would be a detriment to the town. And so my initial thought was let's just put it out there. I know tax increases aren't favorable, but we got a lot to work out between now and when the county adopts their final millage rate. So I appreciate what you.
Just keep in mind that I think everybody grows where Oakland, it has one of the highest millage rates in Orange County. Yes, so whenever we hear an increase, it really gets people
understand.
It does.
And that's what brings us here so early on with it, Scott, but even so far out of the box type thing that you might get to is maybe it's something, this isn't simple. A volunteer fire department and we hire out the EMT services, that might make it different. I don't know. Probably Don Reed, have you heard me? We don't know, but you got to think about everything now. Because there are towns where it does work. And
I'm not a firefighter.
Every hour.
Sure.
You look at everything.
Got very great points, and I'm sure we're gonna repeat that when we're negotiating. You're gonna do a great job. We got a really, really small window though. And the next step is to negotiate. But what's to say in the future, we do have Oakland firefighting, our own building. We're very unique to the rest of the towns and the rest of the cities, very unique. And that's the leverage we're gonna use when we negotiate. Step one. Step two, we may end up with our own fire. You know, we don't know. They're all up on the table.
Yep.
Thank you, sir.
Thanks, Scott. Anyone else? All right, come on, go for it.
Okay.
I knew I could. Bring name and serial number. Let's go. There you go.
And I apologize, I wasn't laughing at what you said, I was kind of chuckling at the fact that we're gonna, we could maybe use volunteers. That, I will tell you right now, that will not work. If you want your insurance and your ratings to go up, it'll go way up. With Orange County just got their class 1 rating a few years ago, so you get that benefit. Many years ago, when the fire department took over, they checked with Apopka, they checked with the Winter Garden, they checked with Orange County, and everybody else was gonna charge more than what Orange County was, because Orange County charges you what they charge every other citizen. They don't upcharge it. I'm not saying I agree with it. I don't. It is a big chunk of money to swallow at one time. So I understand that. But when we first took over the fire department here, we had a fire engine with 3 people on it. Since then, the state laws have changed, and now you have to have a minimum of 4 people. If you don't have a minimum of 4 people on an engine, when you get to a fire, then you can't make entry because you have to have 2 in, 2 out. So with that, a lot of other fire departments, I think around here, they're all 4 now. But at the time, they weren't, and a lot of other places didn't increase their staffing. So we increased the staffing in Orange County. We never saw an increase for that. Then a few years ago, when they took, I say a few, I've been retired like 12, so it was probably in the last 10 years. I don't know when, the rescue came here, but it was several years ago. So they have 4 people on an engine, now they have 2 people on a rescue. And I'll tell you, to get rid of a rescue truck, because that was possibly, if they want to do cuts, is where they're going to look at cutting. That would be kind of a typical thing. That, you're not going to have that speed of service. And I'll tell you that speed of service is important for if somebody's having medical issues. So there's a lot that goes into this. Do I think Oakland can run their own fire department for $2 million? I do not. I absolutely do not believe that, because everybody kind of looks at it like, well, we just have an engine and a rescue, and we do have a woods truck up here, which is important in this area. And we have the capability and access to 50 other stations coming if all hell broke loose. So it's not just the fire truck and the rescue, and it's not just the engines and stuff that you take care of, but you have to set up a whole command structure, and then you have to have training, and then you have to have everything. And you're not going to get a class 1 rating from the state with just having 1 engine and 1 rescue here, and all of the mandates and all of the laws that you have to follow. So and volunteering, a volunteer station with a paid rescue service, I think that's absolutely would be totally out of the question. That will not work in this area. I mean, if we were in some of the areas in the Panhandle and some other areas of Florida that they still do have volunteers and they rely on them, it could work. But is it going to work here? No, it's not going to work here. And I mean, I know a lot of things have changed since I left the fire department, but I spent 31 years at the fire department, and I know what the MSTUs are, and I know what it takes to run the fire department, and I know what goes into it. And I don't think it's changed that much, except the fact that there's probably more regulations and more laws now than there were 10 or 12 years ago when I left. So I do think we need to look at other alternatives. I'm not saying don't go to Winter Garden. Go to Winter Garden and take a look. See what they have to offer. But if somebody comes back and says, we'll provide it to you, but we're not going to staff it here in Oakland, but they're just right down the road, that's not the same thing. It's not. So I think a lot does go into this. And that's all. I mean, I just wanted to make sure that to answer one of your questions, since we took over, the staffing has gone up by double. The units have gone up by double, plus the woods truck that they command if needed. We have Lake Apopka here. We have some of Johns Lake here. They have very highly trained divers, and they just bought a number of marine type units. So I think we get great service from Orange County, but I do understand that is a lot of money. Look, I'm going to pay a lot of money to myself, but not only do we have this, then comes pretty soon, we're gonna have an increase in our garbage. And then they're gonna raise the cost of the valuation on our houses, so then our taxes are gonna go up there too. So it's not just this that's gonna go up. But that being said, it's going to go up in Orange County for every citizen of Orange County, not just Belle Isle, Edgewood, the one in us, that sort of thing.
Yeah, well, and that's why you just throw out ideas down, and that's why I said, right there, I looked around, because when you throw everything on the table. And then you work your way backwards.
Well, I think you have to throw everything on the table, except we should never be talking about being volunteer. That's just my own opinion.
Before you leave,
That'd be the only thing off.
I want you to volunteer. Lead volunteer.
I could not even climb on a fire truck hardly anymore, so.
So before you leave, thank you for that explanation. Mayor Stark has been talking about the fire issue for many years, and that's been something that we've been trying to figure out.
Right.
Because we know that's one of our largest items.
Right.
And so we've been trying to figure out other ways. Then also, like you mentioned, the garbage pickup, that's another item that's coming up soon that we've been trying to control. We have controlled it. So thank you for bringing that up. And then the last thing is, I want to say that we are always trying to figure out what to do first. Do we work on infrastructure to help to bring down the taxes? Or do we work on these budget items? And so those are the things that have been dealing with for the last 10, 15 years. And that's why it is so important that the citizens are here to hear these things, because this has been a budget conversation ever since I've been here, especially that fire item. I remember Mayor Stocks talking about it. We pulled that Avalon out. Yeah, we'll be 4.9 or whatever it is that Mayor Shane just mentioned. So yes, it is a big item and we cannot do it ourselves.
Right.
Thank you so much for explaining that.
Or fortunate, however you want to look at it. When you're looking at town and city budgets, people are going to be the largest portion of that. And then you have police and fire.
Exactly.
And police and fire, you cannot do without.
Exactly.
You only can do without it until somebody's house burned down. But I'll tell you right now, when you vote to make the fire department go away and next week there's a fire and somebody's house burns down or somebody dies, you don't even know what kind of hell is going to be unleashed on that.
And I don't think anybody is pushing for the fire to go away. Yeah, and it'd be great to keep it like it is, and it'd be great to have them with the state-of-the-art service that they have and all that stuff. But there's gotta be some give. Gotta be some give.
For the county commission to come up after, we haven't had a raise in 17 years. I get that. We've been lucky for all this time. But for them to come up in one time and ask for such a large increase for every citizen of Orange County, that's not good government. Because what were they doing? What were they doing the last 15 years, sitting on their hands?
Thank you for saying that.
But that can be said.
I didn't want to bring it up.
September 5th.
For adopting it just because of money.
All right, so anything else? Okay, so we got to bring it back and we have to make a motion to accept the 6.9, if that's the direction you want to go, but to get us up there to that threshold so that we can get the trim notices out by the end of July 30th, right?
They're due.
Yeah, due then. So anybody would like to make a motion for that?
Make a motion to approve the tentative millage rate increase to 6.9%.
Okay, second?
Second.
Second by Sal in favor? Aye, okay. So folks, please stay tuned, okay? September 5th, come back and stay involved and we'll keep you updated. We'll do the best we can. Look at the town's website, please, because we'll try to post some things on there. That will be your most up-to-date, probably realistic information on what's going on. So, and I'll be happy to kind of give you a rehash of what we talked about with the other municipalities on Friday after that happens. Okay, so thank you. Don't leave, we're not done. So moving on to ordinance 2024-09.
This is the first reading of ordinance 2024-09, an ordinance of the town of Oakland, Florida, amending chapter 14 of the town of Oakland Code of Ordinances to correct scrivener's errors as to section 14-183 impact fee schedule, providing for codification and authority of town officials and providing for conflict severability and effective date. This is really a housekeeping item. It came about because our auditor was doing his job and thought we were charging the wrong impact fees on certain things. So Gabby reached out to me and she goes, "What is he talking about? We're not charging the wrong thing." Well, according to the new ordinance 2022-20 that was passed, a few of the impact fees got reduced inadvertently. And so luckily we hadn't been charging those rates because those rates were not supported by impact fee studies. We were charging the correct rates. We just need to now clean up that ordinance to have the correct rates in them so that we can keep charging those. So that's really all as it is, and we'll bring back the second reading at the next commission meeting.
Great. Okay.
It's good catch. Glad we didn't charge that low number.
Yeah.
Yeah, great. Anybody have any questions on the table? Okay, so it is an ordinance. We have to open up to a public hearing. Any questions from the public? No, close public hearing, bring it back here. Make a motion.
Make a motion to accept ordinance 2024-09.
Second, anybody? Second by Mike, all in favor? Aye, all right. Andy. What's there?
Yes, let me find my report.
No.
The one thing I had on my report this evening was the town has a dirt road survey that can be found on our website. That will be, I don't have my report in front of me, but I believe it'll be up until August 16th. So you can go on there, you can discuss whether or not, basically the questions are simple. There's 2 or 3 questions, whether or not you want paved roads or unpaved roads. That'll give the town commission an idea as we work towards future budgets and future planning for the dirt roads in town. It'll give us an idea of which direction to head, whether we're going to look to maybe asphalt some roads, whether we're going to look to put some different material down on the roads, but it'll give us a good idea of the consensus of the community. So if you'll go on our website and fill out that survey, you'll also get notified on the back of our water bill. You can have a QR code where you can scan it and it'll take you directly to the survey. We ask that only residents in the town fill out the survey. But once that's complete, then we'll get back on the road discussion. That's all I have this evening.
You got to live on the dirt road?
You do not have to live on a dirt road. All taxpayers.
Okay.
It's not on the website, it'll be on the back of your water bills. We're trying to keep it strictly to residents, so we didn't want it out and about for everybody. Yeah.
Would it be possible to publish the code in the post office or someplace with notice to say, check this out, you know?
I think we will be doing that, yes.
Some way that.
Yes.
I mean, initially, Andy said it was on the website.
He made a mistake.
I made a mistake on that. I don't have my report up in front of me, but yeah, it's just on the back of the water bills, but we'll discuss it in staff and determine, see if we can put the QR code online. We just didn't want residents, people from outside participating in the survey, but I believe in the survey, you do have to put your address. We would like for you to put your address. So
Who's actually doing that? How many times have been? It's a good survey.
You get.
you should get an email.
Yeah, if you take the money out of my account.
Okay, there will be paper copies available at town hall as well. Yeah, we'll get the word out once it's out and about. We'll let people know to be looking for it. So. No, it's not up yet.
Get these unsold.
The solar panel guys? Yeah. Hey.
Yeah, I think it's August 15th, you said?
August 15th or 16th. I'll get the information correct. We'll put a post on our Facebook page and then we'll put something on our website. And then before the next meeting, we'll provide some better information on all of this.
So it's gonna be coming up very soon then, right? Yes, okay. All right. Anything else, Andy?
That's it.
Yeah, that's it from Andy. Anything from you, chief?
Yes, unfortunately, my bad. You guys, with the previous minutes, you got to it too fast.
Oh, sorry.
The MOU that we approved last meeting. The Bose Law Firm met with the Aaron DeYoung's law firm who looks after legal issues for municipalities around the county. At the request of Ms. DeYoung, they wanted one paragraph added to page 3 of section 5, just to clarify the DUI responsibilities when an officer goes into the county. So there's one small paragraph just clarifying that a city police officer will be allowed to go outside their jurisdiction to further a DUI investigation. So I have the new copy. I think you have been provided a copy. And that one will need to get signed and certified again. And then we can get it returned to the sheriff. Like I said, only a lot of agencies have to do this. They've had to run it back. We were unaware that that the request was made, but now the change is made. There's no rush on it, but the sheriff will, move everybody once all.
Back ourselves up on this.
No, he did, you guys approved it on consent with the changes.
Yes.
Yeah, I just wanted to let you know that.
Oh, I got it.
So,
I've been called worse.
That's, I thought you were gonna say, hey, sheriff's department said they want an increase in there. Yeah, we'd be another conversation.
Yeah.
Anything else, chief?
That's it.
How about you, Mr. Parker? You do it?
Thank you, Mayor. No, not tonight. I'm just glad to be part of the team.
Whoa.
Oh. Yes, we do have something. Thank you, Elise. Let me introduce Nathan Brown. He is our new Assistant Public Works Director. It's
Don't worry, Nathan, he does.
He's definitely a big help to me, and I was spread pretty thin here lately, so it's he's a big help.
Welcome aboard, Nathan. Hey, Abby. Lynn?
Lynn, you want to talk about the?
Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, we're in the middle of our summer series for the farmers market. This Thursday is the next farmers market, and we bumped the time up from 10 to 2 to 9 to 1 because of the heat. And we also incorporated kids activities for the summer. So this Thursday we'll have a petting zoo and the ponies coming back. That was a big hit a couple weeks ago or 2 markets ago. So make sure you if you're out. And then we're also in week 3 of partnering with the Orange County Library for Countdown to Kindergarten. It's a reading readiness program for pre-kindergartners, and they're meeting actually here on Friday mornings at 10 o'clock. It's a 6-week program that they're doing. And so if you have neighbors or know of anybody with pre-kindergarten kids, 10 o'clock this Friday, and then 2 more following Fridays. It ends on August 9th. It's a great program. And then last but not least, our team has been working really hard for our next exhibit, which is going to be telling the story of Lake Apopka, how it became one of the most polluted lakes in the state, and where it is today, and how it's become a tourist destination. So we're going to tell that story with art and history. We're also, opening night is Friday, August 16th at 5:30. We'll have it blasted on Facebook, the town's website, probably the water bill as well. But feel free to reach out if you have any questions. We're gonna have, that night on opening night, Gatorland's gonna be here with some live alligators. So it's gonna be a really, really cool event. So we hope you all can come.
Awesome.
They're gonna take them gators right out of Lake Pot.
Thank you, Lynn.
Yeah, I hope clients too. Yep.
Thank you, Lynn. Elise, anything from you?
No, sir.
All right, Val, how you doing?
Good. Just want to reiterate Mr. Bacon's Remembrance Day and hope to see all of you out there, the west side at Willie Welch's Park. And happy to have everybody involved with us because it's gonna take the town for us to do a lot of things in our town for decision making. And hopefully next year FLC can give us a public engagement award. That would be nice. Stay engaged.
Great. Hey, Rick,
I don't have anything.
how about you, Justin?
I'm just, I know we in this time of budget crunches. I'm so glad that Mr. Parker has some assistance and I've been talking to him a lot. And I just wanted to make sure that we know that we really need this department as much as possible. So as we start getting ready to get close to that our budget time, we really need to figure out how we're going to save this department because Mr. Parker's not going to be here forever. Once he leaves, we're gonna definitely have to backfill him, so. Just on the top of my mind, as we think about all the issues and the challenges that we have in the town, Mr. Parker is the one who's kind of quarterbacking everything, whether it's dirt roads, whether it's moss and the trees, the canal, whatever it is. So we really have to shore up this department. So I just want to make sure that we keep that on the forefront. But I do understand, I was thinking about this before we had the notice from the fire department, but now here we are. But this is, we really have to make sure that we take care of this department because if we don't, we're gonna really have some challenges in our town. So just want to make that note.
Agreed. Infrastructure is a big deal in that town. Yeah.
Agree. All right, all I have is, I think y'all got invitations to, come to the back to school barbecue on the 7th at noontime to come and, watch me sweat and cook. You guys, you can, awesome. The only thing I have is, we're starting back up, this month, on August 7th, meet the mayor, if anybody's interested in coming. It's just, again, if you haven't been there, it's just a very informal get together where we just kind of meet here and answer whatever questions you have, any questions you have about town. Some of the staff is there as well. So, just open to anyone. So yeah, that's August 7th, I believe. And you'll probably see something coming from, the site as well. That's all I have. And August 6th, do we still have our?
Yep, 6 o'clock ethics training for all 3 groups.
Yeah. Yep. Okay. Nothing else?
All hearts and minds are satisfied at 8:19.
Thank you. Thank you, everybody.
Not what I said. I was going to say,